Hello and welcome back to ECS Coffee. My name is Rebecca and this is the showdown between the Breville Barista Touch Impress and the DeLonghi La Specialista Touch. So these are both semi-automatic espresso machines with a lot of very similar functions and features. So we're going to go through some of their, or well, try to hit all of their similarities and all of their differences, and basically just cover everything that you need to know between these two machines. So they are very different in price point. I'm going to start there. So the DeLonghi La Specialista Touch is coming in at around $1,300 Canadian. Whereas the regular retail price for the Breville Barista Touch Impress is $2,200 Canadian. So there's a massive price difference, but we're going to look at kind of why that is and is it worth it for you at home to go with the machine that costs almost $1,000 more. So we'll start over at the DeLonghi first. So this is the newest version of the La Specialista. There are so many models of La Specialista. This is the newest one. So we have a onboard grinder, we have a color display touchscreen, an automatic steaming wand. We do get with us the barista, I think they're calling it the barista accessory kit, I can't remember. But you get a little tamping station, you get a tamper, you get a funnel, and then you get a trimmer as well. So this trims off the excess. This machine will have a 51 millimeter portafilter, so I just have it in the machine here. And it does have a 2-liter-ish water tank on the back, so it's around the 2-liter mark. The bean hopper holds around 200 grams of whole bean coffee in there, and we do have 15 precise grind settings as well. And it's just adjusted here with this collar. On the Breville, so this is the Touch Impress. There are a lot of different baristas in the barista series. They do have a few different machines that have touchscreens. The Touch Impress has been out for a couple of years now, I think 2 years at this point. And so let's go through some of the specs of this machine. So we do have an onboard grinder. We obviously have a color display touchscreen. This machine has an integrated tamper. So whereas the DeLonghi you'll tamp externally, this one has the Impress puck system. So I press this down, the tamper moves down and compresses the ground coffee in my portafilter. This machine has a 54 millimeter portafilter, so slightly larger than the DeLonghi. Doesn't mean you get better espresso, it's just a little bit of a larger size. I will note though that accessories and aftermarket products, there are more available for the 54 millimeter size than there is for the 51. So if you are somebody that's wanting to add on all of the things, you might have better luck finding things for the Breville than for the DeLonghi. Okay, moving on. This also has an automatic steaming wand. It's automatic when down, just like the DeLonghi, and manual when in the upright position. So upright and upright. And then you can manually steam your milk. The DeLonghi is going to have a 2 + 1 year warranty through DeLonghi. So that's a 2-year warranty with purchase, and you receive your 3rd year when you register the product on DeLonghi's website for warranty. The Breville will come with a standard 2-year warranty. The grinder on the Breville, it is a stepless grinder, and you do have 30 precise grind settings to choose from. So it is stepless where you kind of get in between. You can't feel it click, though there is a precise number noted on the screen, so it's not a true stepless grinder, it's just, you can't feel it click. But yeah, 30 grind sizes to choose from, so you do have more, you have double what you can choose from with the DeLonghi, so many more. Both of these machines have some type of guidance or assistance system built in. So on the DeLonghi, it is called the Bean Adapt technology or Bean Adapt system, where you go in prior to brewing and you program and dial in the espresso using their program. It does not happen while you are brewing. So while you're brewing with this machine, you don't have access and it's not guiding you on what to do. You do that ahead of time. With the Breville, you do have that, and so it's called Barista Guidance. So when you set up the machine for the first time, you will kind of program in your coffee, but then as you brew, each beverage you brew, it will give you some guidance as to how to make the espresso taste better if it recognizes that the espresso did not pour properly. So if it poured too fast or too slow, and it'll give you a little bit of a guidance as to how to correct it. So it might want you to go finer, it might want you to go coarser, or anything like that. While you're grinding as well for each drink, it will recognize if it's ground enough, and it will tell you to either grind more, or if it's ground too much, it'll tell you need a little bit of a trim. The Breville also comes with a trimming tool that's called the razor. That's this guy here. So sits on top of the portafilter and then trims off the excess. Kind of have to hold it on an angle. So I will note that I do like this better. This is way easier to use, creates a lot less mess. So this was like a really nice little upgrade that DeLonghi did to include in their accessory kit. I hope that they offer this afterwards. Like I hope that they offer this as to purchase as an extra accessory, because it's awesome. I love it. Okay, so for today, we are going to be brewing an espresso, and then we'll be steaming some milk for latte or cappuccino. So on both of these machines, you have some pre-programmed beverages, but then you can customize and add your own pre-programmed drinks as well. So you could have Rebecca's Americano, Rebecca's Cappuccino, or for you at home, whatever you want. And it just comes to the back of the menu there, but you can program it and just customize it to your heart's content, which is really, really easy. If you're using the manual wand on either of these machines, I'll note that both of them are insulated wands, so it's not going to burn the milk onto the steaming wand, which is really, really nice. The DeLonghi, when in manual mode, it will read the temperature because the temperature is on the wand beside it. So this is steaming wand, this is temperature probe, and it'll display it on the screen. With the Touch Impress, if you're in manual mode, so wand is all the way up, you're steaming manually, you're being the barista, it will not read the temperature because the temperature sensor is on the drip tray here. So you kind of have to feel it with your hand, but the pressure and everything else is pretty much the same in manual mode. Now, before we get brewing, one more thing that I wanted to note about these machines is their cleaning processes and just a couple other things. So both of these machines will need to be descaled, and they will tell you when to descale your machine. So descaling is a cleaning process. It's both preventative as well as it can kind of help it's general maintenance on the machine. So it's removing and preventing limescale buildup within your unit so that your machine keeps running as it should. Both of these machines are thermoblock systems. So the Breville is a ThermoJet, so it's a lot faster in heat up time, and the DeLonghi is a thermoblock. ThermoJet is specific to Breville. So if you do not descale these machines and you're using water that has calcium in it, which is basically all water except for distilled or RO water that's been remineralized, it'll clog the machine. It'll eventually just kind of build up, and you'll end up not being able to use the machine. It'll affect the pump, it'll affect how it heats, it'll become loud. So you need to make sure to do that. Usually works out to be every 6-ish months or so. Doesn't matter which unit, that's kind of true across the board. The better water you use, the less you'll have to descale. So at least use filtered water with these machines. They will also need a back flushing cycle done. So both of the machines will have some cleaning supplies that come with it to perform both the descale and the back flush. Back flushing is cleaning the group head. So it's going to remove any excess grind and oil buildup on the shower screen that's up there in the group head and keep the coffee tasting fresh. So back flushing you can do kind of as frequently as you want to almost. Like if you wanted to do it every other week, you absolutely could. But the machine will prompt you when that cycle needs to be done. Now, a way to keep your group head clean in the meantime would just be to flush some water through the group head and the portafilter while you have no coffee in the portafilter. It's also just good to do pre-brewing as well so that the portafilter and group head are both heated up. And you aren't having your hot water hit cold stainless steel right away and lose 5 degrees of temperature and affect your extraction. Next thing is the grinders. So Using regular non-oily beans in the coffee in the grinders is best. So no dark roast, no French roast. Try to stay away from like Starbucks espresso and Kirkland espresso as well, super duper oily. So sticking with espresso roast is best. Now the reason I bring this up is because if you use something that's darker or really any kind of bean, your grinder could clog at some point. Breville's grinder is removable with the hopper on. So I can lock my hopper, take it out, and my beans stay in. With the DeLonghi though, I will need to fully empty out my bean hopper to be able to remove it. So you aren't able to remove it with the beans in it. The beans have to be fully removed first, and then you'll be able to take the hopper out. Otherwise, you're gonna have beans kind of everywhere, unfortunately. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get brewing. So these guys, I'll note, they do have pretty much the same beverages. Touch Impress is not able to do cold extraction. The DeLonghi does have one cold brew beverage programmed, okay? All right, so we're going to brew an espresso on both machines, and then we're going to steam some milk for cappuccino, just so that we can showcase how the espresso tastes from each machine once they're dialed in, and then how the automatic steam ones work, all right? Let's get brewing. Okay, so we're going to brew on the DeLonghi first. So I've got my Portafilter, and I'm going to put my funnel on top and lock it in place. And then my Portafilter goes into the grinding chamber, and I'll click it in to start grinding. Awesome. So now I'm going to take my Portafilter to my tamping station, just give it a few knocks, and then I have my tamper. I'm gonna press this down. Depending on where the tamper sits, it's going to tell me if it's okay or not. So since our funnel is lined up at the okay, that means we have the right amount of dopes. If we needed to take off a little bit, it would be up a little bit higher. And if we needed to add more, it would be lower. I'll take my funnel off, and then I'll put my Portafilter into my group head. Cappuccino cup going underneath, and then I'll click to brew. The shot looks like it's pouring really nicely too. The color is gorgeous. It's pouring in a pretty steady stream as well, which is great. And the crema looks really, really nice. On both machines, we are using Colombian espresso. There we go. And now our espresso is done. So it's not super common that I can actually smell the coffee. I'm pretty nose blind now to the smell of coffee, working in coffee all day, but I can smell this, and it smelled super sweet after it poured and while it was pouring, which is amazing. So cheers. It's so good. It is so soft. It's not hitting me anywhere kind of in my jaw or the back of the throat. It's so sweet. The acidity is really nice. It's actually quite delicate, which sometimes our Colombian espresso can have a higher acidity taste, but it's tasting quite delicate this time. Really, really milk chocolate forward. Like that's what I was really smelling when the espresso was pouring, was the chocolate from it. It was smelled so sweet, and that's really coming through in this shot, which is amazing. And the mouthfeel, it's so creamy. Yeah, it's exactly what I kind of expect when I pour our Colombian espresso, but just really, really good, like really chocolate forward, which sometimes like our Colombian espresso is not, and it is right now, which is amazing. Definitely loving this. Okay, now we're going to brew on the Breville and see how it pours. So now brewing on the Touch Impress, I'll put my Portafilter again into the grinding chamber and select the drink. We're just going to brew espresso first. And so I'm going to click the first icon, and it's going to start to grind. They're pretty similar in terms of volume for the grinder as well. Like one is not noticeably quieter or louder than the other. All right, and then I'm going to press my tamping handle down. Great. And now that we have the green check mark here, it means that we have enough. Whereas on the DeLonghi, our physical tamper would tell us if we had around the right dose. Keeping in mind too that these, like on this machine, it's merely a sensor. So it's noting that the height of the coffee is correct in relation to the portafilter and how it will fit into the group head. It's not in relation to how many grams you have. Nor is the DeLonghi. It's all about height, it's not about grams. All right, so this goes up into the group head, and then I'll put my cappuccino cup underneath, and I'll click my center icon here. And now it's going to start to pour. And here's where you'll notice the biggest difference between the two in terms of how they brew and that added assistance that both machines kind of offer. The Breville is going to tell us in real time if our espresso is pouring well or not, whereas on the DeLonghi, it doesn't tell us at all. It only tells us when we're in this one specific mode to dial in the espresso. Perfect. And so this is correct. It poured for 27 seconds, which is good for a double shot. All right, so we got our Breville espresso. I wasn't able to smell this one, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm pretty nose blind to it, so cheers. Wow, okay. Totally different espresso. So we brewed the same bean. So both machines were using Colombian espresso, but it tastes nothing the same. So much higher in acidity from the Touch Impress. So it's kind of hitting me in the back of my jaw. It's kind of hitting me a little bit in the back of my throat. The acidity is quite high. Which is interesting because it's the same bean. Both shots poured well. This is not a bad espresso though. It's just a lot bolder and the acidity is higher. But these machines don't grind by weight. So the tamper, whether you're using the Impress puck system or you're using the DeLonghi one, it's not measuring the grams, it's measuring the height. So we don't know how much coffee each machine ground, and they are using different grind sizes. So of course they poured differently, even though visually they looked like they both poured well. They would both be considered well poured espresso shots, but very, very different. I am favoring the espresso from the DeLonghi right now for sure, but let's see what it tastes like with some milk in. All right, so we're going to keep both milks at 65 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to put them both up to their maximum foam amount as well. So we'll see how long they take. We're steaming the same amount of milk to the same temperature at their maximum settings. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, steam. There we go. Okay. Breville started a little bit faster. Now, the DeLonghi's temperature probe is in the milk, whereas Breville's is sitting outside of the jug. So I'm curious if that impacts it, but we're kind of neck and neck here with the temperature. Oh, Breville's coming up ahead. Breville shut off. DeLonghi is still going and might overflow. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous right now. I'm gonna have to stop it. Maybe. Done. Okay. DeLonghi almost overflowed. All right, now I'm gonna take my milk pitchers out. I'm going to do DeLonghi's first, just because I'm a little nervous about it. So I'm going to lift it up. Both of these wands are insulated, which is nice, so the milk's not going to burn onto these steam wands. And then I'll press that down. It's going to auto purge. And now we'll do Breville. Here we go. Hey. There we go. And now it's just going to spit a little bit of water into the drip tray there. Okay. Here are our milks. Noting that DeLonghi, wow, way wigglier, way more foam than the Breville. All right, so I'm going to pour DeLonghi's into the espresso. This really is like quite full and quite foamy. Beep, 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 beep. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. All right. Nice. Cheers. It's very good. I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but it's very good. The Breville is not nearly as foamy. It's just as hot though. Like, yeah, it's not. This is like almost like microfoam for latte art. Not quite. It's still too foamy for latte art, but the DeLonghi was a lot foamier. They taste exactly the same. I literally can't tell them apart. If you switch these, turned me around, I wouldn't be able to pick which one was which. They're both delicious though. The milk consistency is not quite microfoam from either one, but you can get that in the manual steaming mode. But the whole beverage just tastes really good. It tastes like what you would get in a cafe, minus like any latte art on top, but the consistency of the milk and the temperature, how the milk blended together with the espresso, it all just so complementary. So they're both amazing when you put them side by side, especially in a milk beverage form. So why are you paying almost $1,000 more for the Breville Touch Impress? Well, you're paying for this smart AI system, the Barista Guidance that they've put into the machine to monitor how the espresso is extracting throughout the whole extraction process, and then tell you what adjustments to make or to not make on your next shot. You're also paying for the integrated tamper, which also measures how much coffee you have in there, and it will let you know if you have too much or too little. So you're almost entirely hands-free with the Touch Impress, whereas with the La Specialista Touch, you do need to do a little bit of the work. Even though it does have that Bean Adapt technology, it's not monitoring the espresso as you're pouring. So you do have to know what good espresso looks like and how it's supposed to pour. With the Touch Impress, since it has that system built in, you don't need to know anything. It'll tell you. But with the La Specialista Touch, you do need to know. Otherwise, you would need to use the Bean Adapt technology literally every single time you brewed, which doesn't really make much sense. So you're paying for ease and convenience with the Touch Impress. It's also available in a lot of different colors, so you can kind of pair it to not only just your kitchen appliances that you might already have and the whole aesthetic of your kitchen, but you can also pair it with other Breville products, so you kind of have a whole matching set of appliances. The Touch Impress is available in a lot of different colors and different accents, whereas the La Specialista Touch is available just in this stainless steel color, but it is really sharp, so like no complaints. The Breville wand as well, you are able to program the specific type of alternative milk that you're using, whereas on the La Specialista Touch, you are not able to program the specific type, but you are able to say, hey, I'm using plant-based, not dairy. So there you go. With the La Specialista Touch, you're more hands-on, You are tamping yourself. You do need to know how to brew good espresso. So it's not completely hands-free like the Touch Impress. So there you go. Is the Touch Impress worth it for the extra $1,000 to be a little hands-off? Well, that's kind of for you to decide. But if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them down below. And if you want to, you can shop all of the products that we used in our video today. We'll just leave them in the shop box down below. If you liked our video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to stay up to date with other reviews that we put out. And also follow us on all of our social media channels as well to stay up to date with everything that we're doing. We'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.